Shut the f up. I don't give a f, dude. Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer.
Jake Paul is now in the midst of controversy in the boxing circles as he recently called out Mike Tyson for a fight. It all started when Joe Rogan talked about Jake Paul's crazy boxing career and his lofty aspirations to be one of the all-time greats. While appreciative of what Jake is doing for the sport, Rogan thinks Paul is getting way over his head in wanting to fight those boxing legends who are well past their prime already. For many, though, the call-out of Mike Tyson was a step beyond the pale. A slew of former professional boxers and MMA stars have spoken out in disapproval. Do you think Jake Paul gets any credibility if he beats Mike Tyson?
How old is Mike Tyson? 60?
57.
57? Jake Paul?
27.
You are a disgrace of a man. You are the epitome of weakness. You are the scum of the earth. The fact that you even have a platform or anything of that nature is a slight on society. You truly make me disgusted. And if I ever encounter you in real life, I hope that I just don't lose my
He's 58 years old. As you have just heard, this decision of Paul to fight 58-year-old Iron Mike has boxing folks bewildered. Many are hoping the fight isn't actually staged. They're concerned not only for Mike Tyson, who hasn't exactly been in the best of health lately, but for Paul, who could get seriously injured with Tyson's phenomenal punching power.
So this is a lose-lose for Jake Paul. You can't go out there and potentially beat up Uncle Mike, the guy that's so loved by the world. You don't get no cool points for that. Let's say you go in there and you do beat up Uncle Mike. So you think now people are going to respect you. Oh, Jake Paul, yeah, you beat Mike Tyson, 58-year-old Mike Tyson. No, you're not going to get the respect for that. In fact, I think it'd actually be worse. People might hate you more because it's Uncle Mike. Everyone loves Uncle Mike. But on the flip side, you go out there and you get put to sleep, which is a possibility because Uncle Mike still has that punching power. He's still ferocious and he will still come at you. You go out there and get put to sleep. Let's just go ahead and sign the death certificate of your career. There's no more career.
However, the boxing legend has not held back his skills from being showcased. As per the recent training footage, one can tell that Mike Tyson still packs a punch to compete in a professional bout of boxing. Mike Tyson is ripped for his age and has said how badly he wants to face Jake Paul. He has said nothing will stop him from fighting. He also didn't hold back on sounding off about Paul and gave the 27-year-old some significant advice. Tyson is ready for this fight and believes he will be able to take down Paul in the ring. Fans are also ready to see Paul get knocked out by the boxing legend after boasting since he has been since signing up to fight Iron Mike. Coming off of his recent win over Mike Perry, Jake Paul once again called out Mike Tyson. More than that, he issued a very bold call-out to current UFC champion Alex Pereira. With all these bold call-outs to established fighters and boxing legends, many in the world of boxing want the problem child to face a reality check, and Iron Mike might just be the person capable of delivering that. However, many icons of the world of boxing feel this is uncalled for since Mike Tyson has nothing more to prove to the world. It included the likes of Bernard Hopkins, who rebuked Mike Tyson for accepting this fight. He even went further to say that the boxing legend demeaned himself by accepting to fight Jake Paul. However, boxing legend Sugar Shane Mosley believes there's no chance of Jake Paul picking a win over Mike Tyson. He recently looked at the fight between the two and weighed in with thoughts on both men. He also thinks that Mike Tyson is already a legend, and the result of this fight is not going to change it.
I think of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That fight just got announced. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
They're gonna fight, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna fight. Do you think Jake Paul can beat Mike Tyson?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. He's one of my heroes. I find it very sad. But it's a big event. I understand people are going to watch it. And it's entertainment, I guess. But for someone that idolised the guy growing up, yeah, not the best day.
Do you think Jake Paul gets any credibility if he beats Mike Tyson?
He's 58 years old.
He announced that the onus will be on Paul to perform and send shockwaves around the world by beating Mike Tyson. I think Mike is already a hero. He's already made his claim in the boxing world. I think this is more for Jake to prove he's a real fighter. Several other experts weighed in with their reactions to this fight. Let's take a look at what they had to say. Keep in mind, Mike Tyson is at about 220 pounds, which is about fight weight, and Jake Paul is about 200 pounds. Jake Paul is like 6 feet 1, but Mike Tyson is 5 feet 10. But the experience and power by Tyson could prove out any height advantage he may have to his opponent. The forthcoming bout by Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has no doubt raised many questions within the fraternity of boxing. Many are itching to see how this rather strange pairing will work out.
Listen, I started Jake off and I'm gonna finish him. Just come to the fight and you'll see.
Fuck Jake Paul. I like that shit. Yeah.
Pros have spoken their minds about this bout, but nobody can deny the hype. A lot of people's opinions are that Mike Tyson will win easily come fight night. Jake Paul is a divisive figure in the world of boxing. But Paul has never been one to let haters bring him down. In fact, in the most recent fight against Mike Perry, he even called out UFC fighter Alex Pereira. Clear evidence that he is ready for anyone. The post-fight press conference had Paul shed light on his future plans in boxing, and also gave a reason as to why he's so keen on fighting with Pereira. As for why he called out Pereira, Paul said, "I want everyone. I love this sport." He mentioned wanting to go into boxing, so we FaceTimed. I asked him if he could get out of his UFC contract, and he hesitated. Looked to his manager. These guys aren't their own bosses. At the end of the day, it's up to Dana White if he'll allow it. But it's a big risk for him, you know, because if I go and embarrass his #1 fighter, that wouldn't look good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want everybody. I love this sport. And, you know, he's tweeted about wanting to go into boxing. We got him on the FaceTime right there in the ring. And I said, yo, can you get out of your contract? If he can get out of his contract, then let's run it. And so when I asked him that, he had a pause. He, like, looked at his manager. You know, these guys aren't their own bosses. So I want all the smoke. But at the end of the day, will Dana let him out? That's too big of a risk if I could embarrass his #1 praised fighter right now.
Paul says full of confidence he wants all the smoke with UFC fighters. I've beaten every MMA guy I've faced so far. Who's next? Pereira's the king of the UFC right now, and I want to decapitate him and dethrone him. The conversation briefly turned to Anthony Joshua, who congratulated Pereira on thinking about boxing, and Pereira was equally positive about the situation.
But I want all the smoke. I want all the MMA guys, and I've beaten all of them. Who's next? He's the king right now of the UFC, so I want him. I'm going to decapitate him and dethrone him.
And just to be clear, right, it was Anthony Joshua that said Pereira should enter the boxing ring. Pereira said, I'm honored, I would love to, who should I fight? Right, and when Jake saw that, he said, hey, you should.
Paul immediately jumped in, calling out Pereira, but did acknowledge that the fighter's contract with the UFC complicates things. But his next big fight is already lined up, a November 15th bout against Mike Tyson. Tyson's a legend, yet that doesn't faze Paul. Asked whether a 53-year-old Tyson should be getting in the ring at all, he said, "If Tyson wants to get in, I'm down," and he does. He's one of the baddest men on the planet. If he wants the smoke, I'm ready to end it. Critics continued to question whether he should fight Tyson, some stating that Mike Perry wasn't as tough or skilled as Tyson. But Paul remains resolute that this fight is just another step toward proving his worth. Talk then moved to wider ambitions of his career. He said he wants to become a cruiserweight champion in 2 to 2.5 years. Pressed for specifics on how fights against guys like McGregor or Pereira help him achieve that goal, Paul said, "Every big fight, every camp under the bright lights prepares me for the tough moments. There are money fights, experience fights, and tonight was an experience fight." But November. That's a massive fight. It's all about building up to the Cruiserweight Championship. Paul mentioned that's where it's at. Fighting the best guys across different leagues, those are the fights that drive him to progress and become a champion. Not only did Paul's future ambitions get a run, but the possibility of a rematch with Nate Diaz got a run, this time in MMA. Team Paul extended an offer for a rematch in the octagon after beating Diaz in the boxing ring. He doesn't think Diaz will take it because I think there's too much risk for him. I don't think he believes he can beat me in MMA. Paul's hardcore career ambitions have drawn interest from around the combat sports world. Even Conor McGregor chipped in with some strong words for him after Paul's win over Mike Perry. McGregor once insulted Paul in a since-deleted tweet, calling him the biggest pissbag and made fun of Paul's weight advantage. Paul responded directly to McGregor saying, "Conor's always on Twitter, or he is always on his yacht. Big man, where's he at? He's not in the ring fighting me. He can talk all he wants." Jake Paul isn't fazed by critics and also challengers who come his way. He is confident that he will be in the ring with whoever is considered the best, regardless of their age, size, or background. A run of wins has led him to this confident statement. He will take on anyone in combat sports. The rapid rise of Paul in combat sports has raised a lot of debate among many who either commend his bravery or feel otherwise about this choice of career path. The one thing for sure, though, is that Paul is not stepping down, and he is ready for anything. Now, what do you guys think about Jake Paul and everything that is going on with him in combat sports? Put it in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more updates regarding his career.